I'm making my own language learning apps. For the past few weeks, I've been making my own apps because I tried Duolingo and Anki and they were not good enough for me. Duolingo look more like a video game than a language apps, and Anki is only good to learn vocabularies, not to learn the full language. And this week I was making the database of my apps. So of course I need a place to save the user progression and every word and sentences that the user want to learn. But making a database is not that easy to do. I cannot just make a file and write 10,000 words in that file. Because first of all, I cannot save images in a text file, and also that would be a very bad way to design the database. When you're making a database, there is a few things you need to consider. First of all, the database needs to be fast and reliable. So when you use it, you don't want to wait 5 minutes just to save your progression. And also, as a developer, I don't want to redo my database all over again in 6 months just because I need to add a few features that I didn't consider yet. And to do that, I'm using a tool called SQLite. But to understand, let's see how my app currently works. So there is 4 different layers. On top, there is a user interface. His goal is to show the user everything he wants. Then on the bottom there is the domain. The domain has to calculate everything, like the space repetition system, which is the learning algorithm of my app. Then there is a persistence layer. That's what I'm currently doing. It's where the database is, and we want everything related to the database in the persistence layer, so that the domain and the UI don't have to know anything about how the persistent layer works. And in the middle, there is the application layer. The application layer helps us to link everything back together. As I said, the persistence layer needs to be independent from anything else in my apps. And to do that, we begin at the bottom with SQLite and the database. So the database is just a file on your phone or on your computer that contains everything that you want to save. Then, just above the database, there is a DAO, the Data Access Object. The Data Access Object is the only layer that directly uses SQLite. So in the database, I put a lot of different tables. Each table has to save one type of thing. So there is a table to save words, a table to save exercise, a table to save the statistics of the user. Each DAO needs to be able to do 4 things: create, read, update, and delete. And each DAO is linked to a few tables in our database. And that's the hardest thing to do in the database. Figuring out which table exactly I need to put in the database and making sure that I can access each table with a DAO. But this is not over yet. The DAO only gives me rows of those tables. And so this is not usable data for the rest of my app. And also there's a lot of time where I need to access a lot of different tables of my database at once. And to do that, I first need to create mappers that convert those rows into usable data. And then I made repositories that access every DAO they need to access the data they exactly need. And that's how the persistence layer works. With that, if in 6 months I add a new feature that needs to be saved in the database, I won't need to change everything. I will just need to add 1 or 2 DAO, make a new mappers to convert those new rows into usable objects, and change or making a new repositories. That's it. As you can see, I'm not just making the app as fast as I can. I'm making sure that the app is maintainable and extensible. That means that every time I want to change or add something new, I don't want to change everything. That's why each layer of my app is independent from each other. They can all work alone and then they work together to make the whole app. If I need to change something in one layer, I don't need to update anything but that layer. That's why making an app takes so much time. It's not just about making the best learning algorithm as possible. It's also about making a lot of different layers, with each layer having one and only one job. That's how you make the best language learning app as possible. And if you want to learn more, there is a link to my GitHub in the description, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!